start off just talking about today. What are you doing here? What's the purpose?
Well, I'm coming here today to listen. With redistricting, the new district changes, goes from southern Kern County up into Fresno County, Clovis, and others. So I wanted to come meet people, listen, do some tours, and really take an opportunity to understand the needs and concerns to make me a better representative and hopefully to earn their trust and their support in the next election.
So, Leader, what would it mean for President Clovis to be possibly represented by the Speaker of the House? Does it mean more money, more earmarks? What does that mean for the folks?
You know, hopefully it just means great representation, that we can work together on the needs and collaboratively to solve problems. I mean, when you look at crime, I just sat down with the mayor, the DA, the sheriff, and others, areas that we can work together to bring crime down. From transportation, from representing going to the veterans, looking at areas that we can, and so in that collaborative that we can solve a lot of problems that people need and put America back on the right path, and hopefully can steer California, at least the Central Valley, in the right way.
So what's your pitch to your fellow caucus, to the other elected Republicans? Why do you deserve to be?
Look, my very first goal is representing my district, and you have to get elected first. The conference will decide who becomes. We have to win the majority. They're not given, they're earned, and that's what we're out doing, and that will take place when the time comes.
Lou Dobbs said he didn't have some kind, he had a little nasty words for you. Speaking on Matt Getz's show, called you a rhino. Once you hear that, when you hear Lou Dobbs calling you a rhino, what's your reaction?
Look, I can always run on my record of being a conservative of where we look to put this. I believe the conservatives really put the country on the right path, with especially the debt that we have today, our strength of what we need. We need better conservative views, and I think we can lead and make that happen.
And do you have any sense for the Valley right now? Any priorities?
Yeah, I mean, what I look fundamentally in the Valley, we need water. It's something that I fought for a long time. It's something that I worked closely with Devin Nunes and David Valadeo. We made great strides in progress. Unfortunately, the liberal wings of now the Biden administration has pushed that back. And to survive in this valley, we need water to be able to replenish. We need to be able to have a safe community. We now watch what the Democrats have done, bringing inflation. That's a tax on all Americans, not just in the valley. How can we become energy independent to lower our gas prices? How can we make sure our streets are safe in our communities? How can we make sure when it comes to children's education that the parents have a say? We rolled out a Parents' Bill of Rights. So there's a lot of things for the Valley, but also benefits the rest of the country as well.
I had a couple questions just regarding the Ukraine and Russia situation. I know that you've been critical of President Biden in the past. Where do you stand now?
Well, I think President Biden, on his actions and what he took place in Afghanistan, has really harmed this nation, but also put why Putin felt there was an opportunity to push the envelope with Ukraine and make a buildup. I think when President Biden went to meet with Putin, he made a mistake by giving him the pipeline. I think Putin has seen weaknesses and is pushing the envelope. What you want to do is deter. America doesn't want to go to war. America should be able to deter. I think the actions that the president taken were too little and too late, and has caused this problem. And it concerns me also the actions the president took in Afghanistan, not only creating 13 Gold Star families that never should have had to lose their lives. He has pushed China and Russia, North Korea and Iran together, almost in an axis against America, when he should be uniting others. Here we are living in a world that almost 6 million people have died from COVID, and he wouldn't even stand up to find out where it originated from, and reward China with the Olympics. I mean, there are a lot of actions there that I believe why on the world stage that we're having these problems.
What would you like to see happen, or what would you like to see the U.S. do moving forward with the Ukraine-Russia situation?
Well, I think a lot of actions that are prior taken has caused the damage of where we are today. You should have been able to deter. Had we not exited Afghanistan in the way that Biden had created it, I don't think we'd be in the situation we are today. It concerns me too, it's not just going to be in Ukraine. What is China's actions towards Taiwan? What are we doing to make sure these days don't happen? It's the actions you take prior and the strength. Is he uniting Europe, or is he dividing Europe and NATO? I mean, he came into office thinking he was going to bring NATO closer together. When we looked at the last administration with President Trump, he made the European countries actually spend more on their own defense. America should not be the provider of defense for everyone around the world. And I think what happens is collaborative. You could show strength, you could show deterrent, and you can unite NATO in a position that would make Putin not take those positions. If you take everything off the table from the beginning and you put a press conference together that you say, well, if Putin just takes a little of Ukraine, it's okay, those words do damage. Any part of taking Ukraine is wrong. Any life that is taken is wrong. And I think the actions that the president has taken has put in a weaker position.
Do you think war is unavoidable?
It would with actions prior be. I would hope that we could make sure Putin does not enter another country to take lives. I mean, unfortunately, you're on the moments and times where you have 100 and some thousand troops on the border, and he can't even unite NATO, and he puts a few thousand of our troops into Poland and others. It puts us in a weaker position overall.
One final follow-up on that.
Yeah.
What impact do you see that having here in the U.S. if they do end up in Ukraine?
Well, it's not just in the U.S., it's around the world. It's not just our reputation, but it's economy. It's lives. It's whether people think into the future, should they keep a relationship with America, or should, like the Chancellor of Germany said, they need to build a different relationship now with China and others. It makes us weaker in the long run. There's a reason why America, that we are the only nation in the world that's conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that we're all equal. There's a reason why when President Biden came into office and he stopped a pipeline in America but allowed Putin to have a pipeline, that harmed not just Europe. It actually, he's brought in more crude from Russia into America than we had before. So he made Putin stronger financially and also from a point of thinking he could have strength to take another country. You know, America could be energy independent, but also supply our natural gas to other parts of the world where Russia is currently. And American natural gas is 42% cleaner than Russian natural gas. Wouldn't you rather want to create American jobs than jobs for Putin where he could utilize that resources to try to conquer other countries? I just think the world would be safer. And the problem is, you're asking me a question, what would you do today? It's the actions that he should have taken the day he came into office that he took that has made today happen.
So the one question regarding the midterm elections. Do you think just the presence of President Trump is going to help or hurt Republicans in the midterms?
I think it helps.
How so?
I think it helps turnout. I think America could sit back and look, what were the policies that made America stronger, where we were energy independent, we were able to work, we had safer streets, we weren't defunding the police, we were funding them, we had a secure border. I think when you start talking policies, you see the real contrast. Now you've got inflation, you've got crime, you've got an open border, you've got an attorney general that goes after parents because they want to have a say in their kids' education. You've got a weakness from a president that pulled us out of Afghanistan in a manner that killed 13 Americans. You've got a world that North Korea is back testing missiles. You've got a world now where Putin is putting hundreds of thousands of men along the Ukraine border. Since Biden has been in office, he had to remove Americans from 2 countries. 4 years prior, we never had to pull anybody out of any country.